Hello, welcome back to the Bowers Tribe Facebook Friends Tour. This is interview number 26. We are here at the downtown famous Golden Braid bookstore. I'm here with the amazing, beautiful Saara. I'm grateful and lucky enough to catch her while she's here in Utah. She's been in and out of Utah since I've known her off and on multiple different times. Many of you know her in the community. She was consistently around several years ago in the Diksha community, and she did some teachings at some of the classes and things we did many years ago.
Yes.
I've done many activities, not only at a personal level, but on a professional, spiritual level as well. I've sat in her amazing sound vibrational chair that changed my life in a building that is no longer even standing in Sugar House now. It's gone. It's transitioned into apartments, and all that energy is moved, and there's lots of energy moving. Now Saara, she's a very, very unique individual. What I want to talk a little bit about with you is, for years, as long as I've known you, you've always been passionate about integrating like modalities and different things like that, and working on connecting the little circles with the big circles of mainstream, like the universities and different things like that. And you've been working really hard, like since I've known you, to integrate these two things. Can you talk a little bit about your experience with what that's been like?
Integrating big things and little things and integration. I think like you say, it's just been such a passion, and I think, I go back to that. We teach what we most want to learn, right? And I want connection, and I seek connection, and I seek how the perfection of connection, which is what you're doing here, right? Is just sharing that perfection of ourselves with each other, and how we do that, and the environments that we've participated in allows us to do that from our heart. It allows us to do that from that sacred space, and I just have a passion for sacred space, and within sacred space is integration. Yeah.
And she's still right in the midst of it, and she moved to Colorado to even take it to the next level, where
Yes.
things and certain circumstances can't even be maybe talked about or even worked on here in Utah. You've actually taken your work and your whole passion and your career into Colorado, and she's really well educated here. Like, we're talking multiple different degrees. She attends spiritual festivals. She has been taught with different spiritual teachers, and she even named her dog Bhakti. I mean, this is the real deal.
And that was before Bhakti was like a big deal, and she told me her name. I really wasn't that, knowledgeable about it until she told me what the name was, and I'm like, wow, okay. And then I went and looked it up. I'm like, that's just so perfect.
Yeah, it's
Of
kind of
course her name would be Bhakti.
It's kind of like my first punk rock band in 1989 was called Sadhana. I didn't have a clue.
Right.
It's
like just channeling.
So apparently there's something that goes on in our energies that is not explained, that just happens automatically, like as Bhagavan would say.
Yes.
So can you talk a little bit about your experience and your transition into Colorado? And what's going on?
Transition to Colorado. It was, again, just another integration of the work that we're doing in Salt Lake, and then individuals in Colorado that can enhance the work that we're doing in Salt Lake. There's that opportunity to grow, right? And oftentimes when we're in the same community, we tend to plateau at a certain level of how we're participating together. And that's why, you bring in artists from all over the world to come into your community to inspire us to go bigger, or to expand, or to experience each other in these different, ways that we wouldn't access without having new people come in and infuse their inspiration with us, right?
Yeah.
So Colorado showed up, and they said, yes, we want to come to Utah, and we want to bring our gifts, and we want to inspire community, and then we want you to come back with us and do it in our community.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow. that was just such a tremendous gift to have that show up for me.
Well, you're a gift to show up to the planet, no matter where you're at in the planet. So I'm grateful for all the experiences and things that you participate with. Now, one of the things I've seen and witnessed interacting with you and so forth, and I'm a little curious about it because of your personal practices and the things you do within. Now, you've also, like a lot of us out here, you've had some growing pains with family members with health issues and all sorts of different things. Now, when you're in the middle of those things, which is very emotionally and spiritually painful, what kind of practices and things did you use to get through those difficult times with like other people's illnesses and so forth?
Well, they evolve, right? You know, where I started and then where they are now and then where they'll be tomorrow. But yoga really, for me, is my baseline. You know,
Okay.
every day I'm at least doing some aspect of my yoga, which is, you know, whether that be chanting, whether that be prayer, whether that be asana, whether I'm doing the physical. You know, every day is a personal practice day.
Yes.
Throughout the day.
Yes.
You know, there's never really any separation from that either. You know, right livelihood, right conversation, right relationship. You know, it's all integrated again. You know, infused, you might say. And then just the environments around us, right? You know, for me, on Facebook, you'll see a lot of pictures of red tails, right?
Okay.
So red tails is a direct spiritual relationship to my relationship to Paramahansa Yogananda. You know, so when I lived in Ananda, you know, some of my very first big spiritual experiences that connected me to him entailed red tails. You know, so having access to all the different resources that come through us at any time is a spiritual practice.
Yeah.
You know.
But the big part of getting through certain things, the biggest practice was essentially the yoga areas.
Yoga, but energy biofield.
Not traditional. We're not talking about traditional like poses and stuff. Like, she's taking it to a whole nother level.
Right. Yeah, like the Donnie Eden and the Anne-Marie Chisholm and the tapping and the thymus.
Oh, EFT,
and the,
I remember.
Yeah,
your
the boom,
video.
boom, 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 you know.
Even
like, yeah,
though.
even though. You know, so yeah, I mean, there's a lot of those resources. And they're so very helpful, you know, but just finding what really works for myself and then sharing that with others and then sort of helping them find what works for them is just fun, you
Yeah.
know, but it's serious, you know. I mean, these are a lot of these traumas that happen in our lives, and especially as Bhagavan talks about, that pre-birth to about 8, 9 years old, right? You know, is that subconscious traumas that are facilitating our everyday consciousness. You know, so when we can recognize that, oh yeah, that's that 4-year-old that's throwing a tantrum, you know, that wasn't acknowledged, and can I tap with that and go, all right, even though I'm throwing a tantrum and I'm not really happy about it, you know, that I'm using the biofield system to help me move through it to full resolution, right? I mean, that's what we seek, right? We seek that balanced state, which is a resolution state. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we're now in May of 2018.
Yes.
Where do you see yourself move? Where's Saara going from here? Do you have any?
Oh, what we're developing in Colorado is an intentional community. So I've always seen myself in an all ages community. You know, so as I want to be able to help with the babies, or I want to go work in the garden, or go, you know, do practices, healing practices, or cook in the kitchen. You know, I've lived in a lot of different intentional communities, so I have a sense of, you know, what potentially healthy community would be like. It would have no hierarchy, right? You know, it's not going to be, you know, this is the boss at the top and we're all, you know, it's like we rotate, you know, and be able to cultivate our food, know where our food comes from, know how to be sustainable in our relationships and share all of our different gifts together.
Yeah.
I believe it's possible.
That's good.
I do. I really do.
I'm excited to see that unfold and come visit you at these
Yes.
communities and bring people from
Yes.
Utah with me, and because I haven't really experienced that other than festivals, which is really short-lived, just for a couple of days. Bhakti Fest and different things like that. I experience that sense of community and so forth.
Right.
But it'd be nice and interesting to see what it's like prolonged, longer than a week, and being within it.
Flourishing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Saara, I definitely cherish and love our relationship that we've had for many years, 2010, 11 on,
Right.
and I look forward to many more years to come.
Yes.
So, Saara, would it be safe to say that me and you are friends in real life and not just on Facebook?
Totally safe to say. I
Thank you.
love you.
Love you too. Thank you
Yes.
so much for your time.
Yay.
Stay tuned. We'll be watching Colorado and this amazing
Come
woman where she's
visit.
coming. Yep.